Time Studios, and today we are going to be doing another review. And this review is going to be of the roller coaster Icon at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Now, Icon is a mega coaster located at Blackpool Pleasure Beach in the United Kingdom, in sort of the northwest sort of area of the country, and is my second favourite roller coaster in the UK. Now, Icon is a mega coaster, which means there are launches on this, inversions, and they also have nice trains that I particularly like the restraints of. They've got lap bars, and they're certainly very good. But Icon is an amazing ride, and I absolutely love riding it when I go to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Try getting on it as much as possible when you get to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. It is by far the best to ride there. Now, we are going to jump into the facts about Icon. It has a linear synchronous motor launch, and it has two of them. They're right next to each other, which helps produce less power for both launches since they're right next to each other. It has a throughput of 1,070 riders per hour and a height of 89 feet. The top speed is 52.8 miles per hour and has a length of the track length is 3,750 foot. It has one inversion, which is the little heartline roll, although it almost goes upside down after the second launch. But that element is actually a non-inverting element, so it doesn't technically go upside down. It half goes upside down, but not properly, so it's not counted as an inversion. The duration of the ride is 2 minutes and 40 seconds, so it's a really decent length to ride, especially since it keeps its speed throughout the layout with all the airtime hills, the launches, and just the all-round package. I love the top hat going over it, which probably brings the top speed straight after the top hat and the launch, about the same speed, really fast. And finally, the ride has a G-force of 4.3, which surprises me. Launch coasters must have quite a high G-force on the launch, because I wouldn't have expected sort of family thrill coaster, which I classify Icon as, to have a G-force of 4.3. So I suppose it's just the launch where you get pulled back into your seat, which has a G-force. It only has a 0.2 less G-force than Oblivion at Alton Towers, which is the world's first dive coaster and it's the most intense roller coaster I've ever been on. So it really surprises me that Icon has such a high G-force, 4.3 Gs. That really shocks me. It's a lot more than most rides in the UK, so that shocks me. But those are the quick facts that I'm going to share with you. Now, you can have a look at what Icon looks like for yourself on this on-ride POV. Enjoy the on-ride POV. I did a lot with all the little airtime hills, the top hat, the Illman, and it all comes together as a great package. Now I'm going to share the backstory of the ride. Now, Blackpool hadn't built a roller coaster in quite a few years and they wanted to build a new roller coaster. Rumours started looming around about this new roller coaster when Blackpool decided to remove one of the bridges And in the end, it was announced that a new roller coaster was coming to Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and it was rumoured to be a Mack Mega Coaster. Fans were very excited when it was announced to be a Mack Mega Coaster. The ride opened in 2018 as the UK's first double launch roller coaster, and fans loved it. It's a lot of people's favourite ride in the UK, and I certainly agree that it's really good. It's not my favourite ride in the UK. My favourite ride is, of course, Nemesis at Alton Towers. That's my favourite ride in the UK. However, Icon certainly second best. A little bit worse than Nemesis, but there's not much in it. It is a really good ride, Icon, and I certainly enjoy riding it. After it opened in 2018, it's got quite a reliable life, and then in the end of 2021, it was announced that Icon was going to have a new twist to it. This twist was called Enzo, and the release trailer of Enzo showed a spinning row on the end of Blue Fire Mega Coaster at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. And yes, that meant that there was going to be a spinning row at the back of one of the trains. And this wasn't a cheap experience. Standard is £15 and VIP is £22 since it's quite new. So certainly not a very good price for Enzo. But there's a little backstory of Icon. Now I'm going to share my personal opinions on Icon. Icon, like I said, is my second favourite roller coaster in the UK. And it's certainly worth however far you have to drive to get to Icon at Blackpool. However far you have to drive or get the train or something to Blackpool. Even if you live in a different country, it's worth flying, driving, getting the train to Blackpool just to ride this roller coaster. It's an insane ride. I love the launches. I love the top hat. And I especially like the Junior Edelman non-inverting. It's probably my favourite element. You get loads of hang time getting whipped up after that second launch, which pushes you back into your seat. And then you whip back down and you almost feel like you're going to roll back with all the hang time. It's such an intense moment, but it's an amazing moment as well. All the airtime is packed together as an amazing experience with all the banking and all the turns, and the interaction with all the rides also makes this ride. Any ride at Blackpool has interaction with another ride, and that's really what makes Blackpool Pleasure Beach, because it's packed into a 42-acre space compared to Alton Towers, which has over 500 acres. Did you know that you can fit 12 Blackpool Pleasure Beaches into Alton Towers? It's insane. So that's why all the rides interact so well with each other at Blackpool, and that's certainly works with Icon. It interacts with Infusion. Then there's the Big Dipper, Steeplechase. It goes through the big ones, Lift Hill. It interacts with loads of rides, Icon, and the same with most rides, apart from the little kiddie ones in Nickelodeon Land. All the rides at Blackpool pretty much interact with another one, and it certainly makes Blackpool a very special place. Blackpool is probably my favourite theme park in the UK, although Alton Towers is pretty good as well. So it's a pretty close competition, because every time I go to each one, I say, oh, that one's better, or no, that one's better. So I certainly can't decide which one's better between Blackpool and Alton Towers, But the good thing about Blackpool is, of course, it's got Icon, and there's not a good launch roller coaster at Alton Towers. Instead, they've got the Rough Rita, which, to be honest, who likes that? Comment down below if you think Rita at Alton Towers is a good ride, because I don't really like it. But we're still talking about Icon. My rating for Icon, I'm going to give Icon a solid 9 out of 10. Icon is a very fun experience. It's in my top 10 roller coasters, and that's a 9 out of 10 rating by Airtime Studio, as I love the ride with all the banking, airtime, launches, and everything that makes the ride really exciting. It's a really smooth ride with really comfortable restraints. I preferred the original restraints without the seatbelts like everyone else. I just think they look smarter than the handlebars do now, as the handlebars look really nice on the original restraints, but now the updated one with seatbelts. Yes, Blackpool have to have a seatbelt on every single one of their roller coasters, don't they? It's weird. But since they added the seatbelts, the restraints don't look quite as nice, but they're still really comfortable seats, and they're challenging me one of the best restraints I've been on. Either that restraint or a restraint on a B&M Hyper Coaster, which is also another lap bar, are the two comfiest seats I've ever sat in on a roller coaster. So there's another positive about Icon. It has really comfortable restraints. I don't find any negatives about Icon. And something else I love about Icon, which I haven't mentioned yet, is the soundtrack. The soundtrack of Icon is absolutely amazing. It starts off calmly, and then you go into this euphoric section, and it's certainly very cool, and I love that euphoric section. And then you've got the epic section kicking in at about 5.5 minutes of the soundtrack, and I love that bit as well. Two best bits of the soundtrack. I just love listening to the soundtrack in the station. It all adds to the ambience. Icon is an amazing ride at Blackpool. Get yourselves over to Blackpool Pleasure Beach to ride it. It's amazing, and you should all go there and ride it if you're watching this right now. If you want to know my opinions on more and more rides, then a sub to this channel would be great, and if you turn on the notification bell, you'll be notified every time I upload a video, especially when I upload one about my personal thoughts on a ride just like this one. So thanks for watching Airtime Studios, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody!